Alright, so we are inside the car. The reason why you will want to replace a master clutch cylinder is because of when, let's see the light here. When you push in the clutch in off the car, it just sinks in and it just stays like that. But that's because of a broken master clutch cylinder. So that's why we're gonna try to fix it. And the part that we need to replace on the engine bay is just right there. That's the master clutch cylinder, all this. So that the first thing I need to do is just remove this washer fluid container, and we can go from there. As you can see, I took like the washer fluid container out, the reservoir, and now we got full access to the master cylinder. So let's just get started. And now the next step that I really want to do is disconnect this. It's right here. It's called a fluid line. I think that one just needs like a 10mm. Just focus right there. That with a 10mm, just like let it loose, but I'm not gonna let it loose all the way, so that I can unscrew those two bolts. That's right there. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, is disconnect the fluid line. Alright, so I just put a rag underneath it so that if there's any fluid coming out of here, it won't mess up the paint. But I did loosen it with a 10mm, as you can see. Come on, focus, camera. Oh yeah, you see it turning. So that's the first thing I did that. And now we're gonna go inside the car and work our way inside and out. We're gonna go back onto the car. And then we got my flashlight. I'm sorry, I'm doing everything that I'm doing here. It's just one take, so just bear with me. I'm not sure if you're able to see that. It's kind of hard to just record from one hand, but so I'm gonna push the clutch in right now. All right, that's a better view. Okay, so this is the clutch pedal. That's what's happening when I push the clutch all the way in. It just doesn't bounce back. That's what I figured out. Doesn't bounce back. So what I have to do is remove that little pin, take it out, and then unbolt the screws that are outside, and that should be able to pop it out. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yep, see, that's the clutch pedal. And let's see what we're gonna do. As you can see, I'm literally laying under my car. But let's see, where's the light? As you can see, I took out the pin that was in between the hole, and oh, let me show you the pin. It's right here. This is the pin. I took it out with the little, I don't know what this thing called, but this was attached to it. I pulled it out first, and then I pushed the pin out, and I took it out. And now the clutch pedal is free of the master cylinder. And I'm going to show you what to do next. Y'all, I'm literally just laying on my car right now, like this. I'm literally laying down just to fix like the cylinder for my clutch. All right, the next move for me is to remove these two bolts that's holding the cylinder. There are two bolts, and there's another one right there. But I think it can fit with a 12mm. Let's see if it fits. Yes, it does. So, yep, I'm gonna do that. Find a wrench for it, and let's get started. Let's work on it. So this is the wrench I'll be using. A little wrench with an extension and a 12mm. So let's see if that works. I had to readjust some things and backtrack a little bit. I used a different tool. Instead, I used another type of wrench with an adjustment with a extension bar and that 12mm. You notice that I took out the rag so that I can get sort of like more deep under to get to that bolt, and it worked out. I'll show you what I mean, but I'm just gonna go unscrew this just little by little. As you can see, it's unscrewing. Yeah, I just took out the rag because I needed to get underneath it. Alright, so I got one bolt out. You can see it's right there. So what I'm gonna do is put back the towel underneath here, unbolt this, and then unbolt the fluid line. Alright guys, so after disconnecting the brake fluid line from right here, I just took it out, and this is what the old piece looks like. Right here. And then I got this new part, which I'm gonna be installing, just a reverse process. Just I'm going to go screw in the first bolt right there, and then screw in the bolt, the fluid line, and we're just gonna go from there. So I can see I put the new part inside, matching like the two bolts over there, and now I'm just retightening the brake line right over here. So the next thing to do is align that hole over here, and then place it right there. If you can see, basically have to align it, and then I have to go into this little push pin right here. Just push it in, and then if you can see that tiny hole that's in the corner right there, that's where I put in my safety pin, which is this thing right here. So first off, I just need to match it up, and hopefully this works out. All right, so that was pretty hard. Whoops. Basically, I got the safety pin all put in right there. Don't want it to escape anymore. Well, there it is. And I'm just gonna put this other safety pin last. But what I'm gonna do is just tighten everything together. I should be at my closing moments. I already tightened the brake line here, tightened the bottom bolt down over there, and now just tightening the top part. Just tighten it. Keep going. Alright, so I've done everything. I have put in back all the bolts in. I put in the pin and also the safety pin inside here. Well, underneath there, you know what it looks like. So I'm just gonna turn on the car and just pray that it works. Alright, so I'm back at my house. I did put in the master clutch cylinder, but the clutch was still floppy. So I checked under the car, and it turns out that the clutch slave cylinder was leaking a lot from the boot area. And so, yep, I got the slave cylinder here, and we're gonna install it on the same day. So, yep. Alright, so when we go underneath the car, there's just clutch slave cylinder. I already loosened up those two bolts, and with a 14mm, now what I have to do is take off this hosing line with a 17mm wrench. But I've been having trouble because, you know, something's on the way, this is in the way, the bleeder valve is in the way. So I will have an update for you guys in the next clip. I got the piece out right here, and that just gonna go hang out over here. So this is the old part, and this is the new part. Alright, so now here's the new part. All I gotta do is put everything back together with a 14. Let's put everything back together and then retighten this right here, and then put this back with the screw. And after that process, we're gonna bleed it, and hopefully that will work.